Hello everyone and welcome once again to another program of Primetime. I'm your host Beverly. The saying says there's no stopping the carnival, and the 2018 Carnival Committee are ready, set and go. The organizers are here to talk about this year's activities and what we can expect. So stick around and we'll be right back for This is Primetime.
At Nagi Co, the things that matter to you matter to us. Like knowing you're covered when your house gets flooded, getting your settlements quickly and fairly when a fire hits your home, and making sure your business can keep going even after an accident happens on site. At Nagi Co, we're about much more than just insurance. We're about the big things and the small things that mean everything.
Welcome back and thank you very much for joining us. We are really happy to be with you again this week. And as we said, you can't stop the carnival, and we have the president of the St. Martin's Carnival Development Foundation, and that Mr. Alston Lourens, with us here in the studio to bring us up to date as to what's happening with Carnival 2018.
Definitely.
Alston, thank you very much for joining me on the program.
Thank you for having me. You know, I'm always ready to talk about Carnival.
Yeah, so how was it? We've just had Hurricane Irma, and we know people's pockets are a little bit tight.
Of course.
Tell us also what's happening right now.
Well, as you know, even on a good year, Carnival is backing up. And so with Irma, it's a lot more backing up. So far, we're into our Road to Carnival series, which are the parties and the events that lead up to Carnival. They've all been very successful so far, so we're feeling good about it. You know, and it's going to take us as a country all to come together and let's just have it. Let's have the good time that we always have this year. And I think Carnival will serve that purpose, help a lot of us with our PTSD, and a lot of us who just really need to shake off what happened to us a few months ago.
Stress. Yes. I know, but you know that you can't have Carnival without money.
Yeah.
And I know it's a challenge out there.
It is.
Tell us what's happening with the Carnival Foundation with that.
Well, first and foremost, you know, we always plan Carnival a year in advance, and therefore our Carnival, the schedule is determined by how Easter falls and Labor Day, and so we had such an exciting year planned for all the boot holders, because they would have almost 3 weeks of Carnival. Those boot holders are little entrepreneurs that make some really good money too, and so now more than ever, they have been relying on the village being open, which will be on the 12th. So we could have decided to just cut the 3 weeks down, seeing that, hey, you know, everybody this, but we just decided, you know what, let's try and bring back that village culture, and let's try and stick to the plan. And if we have to downsize, we will downsize on other things rather than the amount of time people have to experience the village, and for those who work in the village, that time to make the money for the season. So
you know, you hear comments out there, people saying, wow, things are so tough. Why is Carnival so long this year?
Yeah, you know, I think we need more Carnival because we're very stressed. That's why we also decided when we cut down the amount of shows that are expensive. We cut down the total maximum price. And we have a couple free nights in there. We put the parades back in to the Carnival season itself. We had one that was out last year. And we brought a couple events that were outside of the village into the village for a very low rate. So we're trying to do the best we could to serve not only our boot holders, but also the public, give them a chance to really get a chance to relax and unwind this Carnival.
Give me the atmosphere with the promoters.
Wow, the promoters are excited. I must say that they are excited. They're not ready to run away. They're ready to still do their shows, even if they have to cut back. And this we knew quite some months ago. So we always, as promoters, because SCDF is also a promoter,
right.
As promoters, we know your next event is determined by your next event. So the one that's coming up next year, which is our 50th year, that's to sell that and to market that, you need to have a good one this year. So all promoters already planned for a really good show this year, so that next year can be a smash hit. As you know, it is our 50 years Carnival celebration. We want to really make that very, very special.
I've noticed too that heading up to Carnival, it said the official opening of Carnival, you're finding a lot of activities like beach parties and extra jump up, and so that's different from the years ago.
Yes,
we knew Carnival.
Yes, we started the road to Carnival, I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and this year it's changed a bit. So we have some new promoters involved with that. That was the idea we had last year.
And they're all young people.
Oh yeah, for the most part, young people. So we have one group called 3721, which brought their flashback themed party into the RTC, and that was one of the best parties I think we've ever had under that banner. And then yesterday, in fact, we had the Sunday brunch, which is a all white brunch beach party event, which was supposed to be brunch, but it went all the way to dinner.
Of course,
all the way to dinner because people just wanted to have a good time.
So was it a good turnout?
It was a very good turnout. Both of those events. This weekend was quite a busy weekend for us because we still had a jump up around town. Was on Saturday. Yeah, so it's one very, very busy weekend.
But it's very ironic that the first jump up we had, it was, everybody boasted that it was incident free. And then now you had the second jump up and you had, the police having to deal with a lot of
but you know what it is?
Disruptive behavior.
It has to do, I've learned from being in those meetings with the police, there are a lot of factors that contribute to fighting when people did not come to fight. Big crowds in small spaces, trucks moving too slow with those big crowds, people pushing on each other. So we have these meetings before the jump up and with all the stakeholders, the drivers, the band leaders, the police, the firemen, us, and we just discuss, listen to some areas that we think may be of concern so that we can move a little faster in those areas. And like we drive around and check the lights when it's a night jump up. We check every light, make sure it's working, make it as safe as possible. Still, it is Carnival, and some people, always, maybe they drink too much or maybe it got a little bit out of hand. We, my volunteers as well, we didn't necessarily, none of us actually saw any fight. But after, and right after the jump up, the police officer told me it was nothing really, but then reports came in after that people, and there were so many spectators as well, more than normal. So there were some little brush ups that happened.
And not only that too, the police came right away and made their public service announcement about what
and it's good,
and people experienced going into jail last year for being disruptive.
Some people were held for the entire Carnival season, and I think it's a great thing. We have a very good relationship with the police right now, even though when we have to push them a little hard, we do it softly and they work along with us because they understand how important the vibe of Carnival is, and we don't want to stifle that.
But I think the public is on notice.
Yes, and they're behaving better. So I'm glad some people got in some trouble. So the next time they'll know, don't try.
Yeah, so we'll take a break, and then when we come back, we know that we had people staying in the Carnival Village, in the Festival Village, after Hurricane Irma. What's the status of that? Great. Stick around, and we'll be back in a moment. This is Prime Time.
People all across St. Martin are switching to a more rewarding experience. The WIB MasterCard Fun Miles credit card, better known as MyCard. Earn 1 Fun Mile for every $2 spent, even abroad and online. This will quickly get you a ton of Fun Miles to redeem for travel, shopping, food, fuel, and much more. But there's more to MyCard. Worldwide acceptance, an EMV chip for extra security, and 250 free Fun Miles with first use. Switch to MyCard today at WIB.
Fun miles, from within your reach.
A cruise is a great adventure. Not only for passengers, also for us. The Port of St. Martin. Our port always reflected the needs and aspirations of the time. From the first to the 1.75 millionth passenger in 2013. Our cruise story started in 1963 with our first cruise passenger. 50 great years later, 20 million passengers later, thousands of cruise berths later, we've become the leading port in the Caribbean. 50 fantastic years. Like a dream. The dream of Port St. Martin lives on and reinvents itself every day. The best is yet to come.
At travel planners, we love what we do. Every day we help our clients plan their vacations, from honeymoons to family reunions, trade shows to conventions, school trips to sports tournaments. Our agents at Travel Planners can help you make better, wiser decisions on travel destinations and cruises and find you the lowest fares. Make some memories with help from Travel Planners in Phillipsburg and on the Airport Road, Simpson Bay. Visit our website at Planners SXM and like us on Facebook at St. Martin Travel Planners. We take care of all your travel needs.
In my opening, I said there's no stopping the carnival. And of course, we realized here in St. Martin, we're actually not stopping the carnival. But was there any time after Hurricane Irma that was in doubt whether you would have carnival this year?
Maybe by others, but not by me, not by my board, not by the foundation. We understand how important Carnival is. You know, when you're so connected to so many people that play a part in Carnival, you realize for some people, Carnival is the make it or break it of their year. And after such a devastating storm, the first thing I did is, people, before they asked me if I was okay, because I live on Front Street, so before they asked me if I was okay, my family was okay, they was like, Carnival happening, right? I said, yes, of course. And, even at that point, I thought, okay, worst case scenario, we still have to open the village. We still have to let it happen because I know people who, no hurricane in sight. I know people who have built their homes and put their kids through college because of these, the money they make during the carnival season. And so we could not deny people that after such a storm. And if we go back in history, after Lewis, we had one of the best carnivals in '96. And so I would totally dishonor every president before me to cancel Carnival in its 49th year after a storm. I think that's just a bigger challenge, and I think we're going to do well.
Right. And so I said before we took a break, we knew that we had people staying at the festival village.
Yes.
And so is the village ready?
Well, the village is not ready, not at this point in time. I would like to just reiterate one of our first statements right after the hurricane was when we started to hear chatter about people moving into the village was that, we were adamantly against it. As a tenant in our respectful place, we were against it. Why? Because we rent that building for 6 weeks for a month every year. We know the problems of that building. It's not somewhere for people to live.
24/7.
What happened is, we know about the rats that come over sometimes from the dump. After Irma, we had 2 dumps. And as you see, we know about the fires, we know about those situations. So we respectfully just put it out in the public then that we are totally against that. Find somewhere else. And look what happened. We had such a bad fire a couple months ago, a month and a half ago, whatever. And all the people had to be evacuated. That's so dangerous and toxic to be there. However, some of them went back. And at the point we're at right now, Dr. J, Judith Arnell, she is in charge of the project that is moving them
relocate
out.
Them,
yes,
right.
to relocate them and to put them into a place where they can get their lives back in order. They were supposed to move last week. They will be moving this week. So it's so close to the time because as soon as they leave and they're safe, then we can start cleaning the village.
Until you need a big cleanup.
Oh yes, we plan for almost a week or more of cleaning. That will happen, and then we can start getting the boot holders in.
Yeah, and so any boots available?
Well, in fact, we're down more boots. So we lost in the hurricane. Some parts were really destroyed.
You lost some boots?
We lost about 11 boots in the village.
Wow.
Our first action was to those boot holders that were coming back, that were part of those that were destroyed, to place them if any became available. So we started to, any available boots, we placed those boot holders in first. And right now we have almost no new boots this year, maybe 1 or 2, maybe change their name, but we have no new boot holders basically. So we just wanted to make sure, take care of everybody who was there, and it's not their fault that their boot got destroyed. So we're going to fix it up. You're not going to notice it. It's going to be very much decorated, and I think we're just going to have a good, I always said this year I have a new slogan. I said, it's not about who's on the stage, but it's about who comes in the gate. And that's the feeling of Carnival, and that's why people come and enjoy the village so much.
Now, a little disappointing, but understandable that there are not going to be any Queen shows this year.
Yes. Very disappointed, in fact. But again,
Posh really puts on a really good
you will
show.
see, you can see it already that many things that rely on sponsorship cannot happen as easily. Also the Lighted Parade has been postponed as well. Same reasoning, the money isn't there. Companies haven't caught themselves as yet. I understand completely, but we still have to be as open as we can to anybody that wants to be a part of Carnival. Any up to this point, still we will accept certain sponsors that want to help the festival go on, and they can use it for their own commercial gain as well. Yeah.
How many evenings are put aside for local shows?
Most of them are local. In fact, we took some events that were outside the village, like the band clash, the road march. We put them into the village this time. We have a free night. We have our cookout on an open night, or open free night as well.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Yes, we have a Shaking Off Irma, which is also a local night as well. So local performances, and even the Soulful Company, which was going to be international. We've recently turned that into a local show with our local superstars who live abroad. So I think, and we're going to announce that very soon. So I think we have most of the shows, if not, I think maybe not 5 are local.
Yeah, because we know that you said that the Carnival Development Foundation is also a promoter.
Yes.
And
yes.
so apart from the local shows that you're going to be having, how are the foreign ones looking?
They're looking very good. In fact,
Could you kind of give us an idea?
Yes,
Is there going to be a Latin night?
There's going to be a Latin night, a La Noche Latina, and it's also going to have a reggae night, One Love. They both are going to be very. In fact, people like the lineups this year better than they did last year.
Okay.
So we are very blessed to be able to still find a situation that can bring those shows really good. We also work along with our promoters that have the other marquee shows to make sure that they're on board. So they still have a Soca Rumble, they still have Flag Fest, Bacchanal Sunday, and the Hitmakers. So all of the big shows are still there. Because again, we need them to be great this year so that the pictures and the photos and videos can promote for next year, which is 50 years. Yeah.
Right. And so tell me what it looks like, your promoters that you have now. You see the older heads moving out, like we know Clarence Derby did promote bringing shows for many, many years, and I think he's not doing that much anymore. Right. Do we see the young?
Yes, we have some
dynamic people.
We have some dynamic young promoters. We also have some seasoned promoters that are always young and dynamic. So the whole point, all the shows are being made so organically, and they just fit just well. Bacchanal Sunday has become one of the biggest. It is actually right now the biggest wet fete in the Caribbean. So we have people from other islands flying in, and it shows that it's working.
Yeah, that wet fete. That's the real tune of that thing, that wet fete.
Yes, we know.
And that's very popular too.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we'll take a break, and then when we come back, we will talk about what's happening for the actual festival days. And so thank you very much for watching us on this program. Okay, at this point, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we have to talk about the finances and the prizes. If I'm getting a trophy, I don't think I'm bothering that. I would like to have cash, and I'm sure that's a sentiment out there. And so we'll talk about that when we come back. Don't forget to look at us on Facebook and on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, social media. We are up and running with that. Be back in a moment.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
The Daily Herald is my first source for up-to-date information and news. Putting together this program of prime time requires research and knowledge of current events. For local news, regional and international news, do read the Daily Herald. And so, we have to talk about prizes. I don't know if it's true. Do you are offering trophies
Listen,
versus cash?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
So that's a rumor then?
That's got to be a rumor because we have our prizes always intact. We have learned very much over history that one thing you don't play with is prizes. So SCDF has always maintained its prizes. So Calypso is still the $10,000 for the first place, $5,000 second, $3,500 for the third, and then our road match is still $5,000. Band of the year is still whatever it is. So we have to maintain those things. When we start to cut and say, okay, we're cutting, we can't cut no more, the prizes are already included. Because the worst thing is for the foundation that speaks to other promoters to make sure if you promise people something to please give it to them, to not live up to its own promises. And we're way past that right now. We would rather take the hit somewhere else than mess with prizes, unless we necessarily have to. And that's why we have good relationships with sponsors. And once the sponsors can do that, we'll keep it going.
Right, because the Calypsonians getting ready for the Calypso competitions. They are on Facebook, they're on YouTube, they're making their tunes, they're paying people for coverage and all that.
Costs a lot of money.
So you can't offer them a trophy
and
at
prize,
the end of it.
And let's be quite honest, prize money never pays for what they work they've put in.
You can never balance
but it's
that
something
out.
to help, and it's something tangible that everybody enjoys.
So do you have an idea as to who would be taking part in the Calypso competitions? Anybody new?
Yes,
Any new faces?
There's one new name which I can't say on TV. That's our level of Calypso it is. And we haven't verified who the person is, but the registration we saw a funny name. But everybody else has been there already, has been there recently, and we have one returning that hasn't been there in quite a bit. That's Mr. I don't know if you would like me to say so, but Mr. Tony Rogers is returning
Tony's coming back?
Yes, and he has his name now is the pensioner. So
he is the pensioner.
Yes. So the pensioner is joining the competition this year, and he has a nephew. Young Calix is there too. Right. So it's gonna be interesting.
What about the young guys who are doing this soca?
Oh yes,
that's another.
Soca Rumble is going to be. I think it's going to have a very great year again. Some of this music.
Yeah, King James.
Yes, you have King James. Very good song. You have Lion is back. The Lion is back.
He's
you have
also very
Magic.
good.
You have all of these young guys. So much potential, and I think we're going to have a great show there too. Also in Road March has really lit up the place. Right. We have our bands
all these different segments.
Oh,
so
yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
The traditional carnival, then you have the soca, then you have the road march.
Yes, and we still have the band clash with the bands themselves, going head to head. So it's going to be a great carnival. It's going to be put on by St. Martin mostly, and I just hope that everybody comes out and supports their own, and we're going to have a great time. I really believe so.
Could you give me an idea as to how it's looking for troops?
For troops, in fact, we have more troops than we had the last 3 or 4 years. So
we have more troops?
Yes, we have new troops that have started off. We have some that have grown exponentially. And so I think we're going to have a great parade. In fact, it seems that the parade is going to be longer than it was last year, which was a very, 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 very long year as well. So it's looking good. People, the craft is coming out of people and creativity. So the hurricane couldn't stop that, and so therefore we can't stop Carnival.
The hurricane couldn't stop the Carnival.
Yeah.
So you have troops coming out of Aruba and Curacao.
Guadeloupe as well. So we're going to have some Antigua may come as well. So these are the international troops that try to come every year, and I'm so happy that
we're having problems with flights.
Flights and hotels.
Right.
So we're right now trying to find out if there's any extra rooms around on the island that we could help with. At least we would publicize that.
But you know how they do it in Trinidad? People
open their rooms.
Yeah, they have a home and they have a room or two. Yeah. They offer it up for rent.
Yeah,
so
that may be something that's a good opportunity for everybody.
Make a few dollars, and
if you have some extra space to just put it online, people will contact you.
Yeah, I'm sure. And so, am I presumptuous to ask you if you're even thinking about what 2019 will be, seeing that it's the 50th year of Carnival on St. Martin?
We've dreamt about it. We know it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. We're going to try and bring some really, really class acts. We may extend the season a little longer as well, because I believe next year Easter runs very high into April. So we may we may have to open Carnival, have some fun, close it for Easter, open back up after Easter Monday again, and continue, because it's our 50th year. We only get this one time to do it, and we need to do it very, very well.
And finally, the volunteers.
Yes.
Are they coming in? Are they volunteering?
Oh yeah, our volunteers have already showed up for our road event so far. We have more people that want to volunteer, but this year, because it being so, after the hurricane, we're trying to be very, very keen and selective on who, because every volunteer that comes, we feed them every day. It costs money, so
right.
We try to just be a little efficient as to how much we need and what we need to get done.
Yeah.
So we've actually taken on a few extras for specific purposes,
right?
And we're going to see how that works out this year.
So any last words to all the carnival revelers and the carnival lovers?
Can't stop this fete. Definitely, I can't stop this fete, and we jamming still. Come experience live 2019 St. Martin Carnival. Just pay attention to the page.
Yeah, that's 2018.
Sorry,
not 19
2018. I'm already thinking this one.
It's my fault because I brought 2019 in.
Yes, that's right. But, everybody just come on. Let's have a great time for Carnival.
So enjoy the Carnival and be safe, everyone, and behave, or else you would end
especially.
You would end up in a cell.
Behave legally.
Yes, behave legally.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Alston, for joining us, and all success
Always
for this year's Carnival.
Okay.
May it be a safe one. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been Prime Time. I'll see you next week, and may God bless you.